So I wanted to dive deeper into the Pokemon world because there's some really interesting things and interesting Pokemon throughout the whole history. And when we were playing through Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I came across Porygon again, and the entry, Porygon's Pokedex entry in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee was a little bit different from the original Red and Blue, because it was more like Porygon Z's, but it didn't really click with me. I didn't really investigate it further, just like how we're looking into other Pokemon. So I want to talk about the Pokedex entries, and you can tell me what you think. So, of course, Porygon is a Pokemon that consists entirely of programming code, capable of moving freely in cyberspace. That was Red and Blue. Because it was made by Silph Code, the same people who did the Silph Scope, Pokeballs, and all that stuff. So it was the first artificially created Pokemon. And some people looked at other Pokemon and were like, what, this is a human-made Pokemon? What the heck? And I'm like, remember Porygon, first gen, was a human-made Pokemon. So a lot of these things are just about moving through cyberspace. A man-made Pokemon that consists entirely of programming code capable of moving through cyberspace. Although Yellow, it says, the only Pokemon people anticipate can fly into space. None has managed the feat yet, however.
I can't wait for space Pokemon.
That was Yellow, and then Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee pretty much was the same thing. The only Pokemon that people anticipate can fly into space. None has managed that feat yet, however. So most of this was Porygon can go through cyberspace, but now they're saying he can go through space. And
oh, I see what you're saying.
That was Porygon, and then you can evolve it into Porygon 2. That one is the upgraded version of Porygon. Is designed for space exploration. It can't fly though. And then Porygon Z, it can evolve into, and it says additional software was installed to make it a better Pokemon. It began acting oddly, however, and its programming was modified to enable work in alien dimensions. It did not work as planned. Because that when Porygon Z was introduced, it was Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. That's when they had the Dimension Pokemon with Dialga, Palkia, and all that stuff.
Right.
Porygon 2 was just Gold and Silver. Thoughts?
Right. I think a lot of, when it comes to lore, stuff like that, it just changes as they go. You know, they do it with everything. They do it with Zelda. So I try to take it with, like, a grain of salt because, you know, they always say that, you know, in the beginning Mewtwo was the most powerful Pokemon, and they, like, toss that after a couple generations. But when it comes to Porygon, I really hope that, I think they're leaving it more as a door, if that makes sense, because when they're able to leave stuff open like that, they can be like, okay, well, we can expand on this as a game. Like space. They can make Pokemon in space, and they can be like, hey, Porygon, your moment's come, you know? And I heard rumors, obviously that didn't come true because this was a while ago, but with the introduction of the Ultra Beasts, that they were going to try and do like a Digimon Pokemon crossover. So when you were talking about Porygon 2, that kind of reminded me of that, because obviously, you know, that's exactly what Digimon are. But it sounds like they want to take it in the direction similar to Digimon, which is a good show, by the way. It just happened to be on at the same time as Pokemon, and I chose Pokemon instead.
Well, the Pokemon world is a little weird, and the lore does keep changing. And then talking about space, they believe Clefairy might have come from space.
That's right.
And then they say Deoxys did come from space. He came from a meteorite. But outside of that, they don't really have any Pokemon that they know come from space.
Well, but then you have to take into consideration Pokemon that use the Moonstone to evolve, and it's not just Clefairy, you know? So then...
Yeah, some people were saying a lot of Pokemon that evolve from Moonstones would therefore have to come from the moon, maybe.
I mean, if you really want to go that deep, though, that's how frogs came to be here on Earth in real life. So, I mean, they could have just, you know, if you want to go into Pokemon evolution, you could say that they came here a long time ago, but aren't part of, like, the regular genus of what was already on Earth. But that's pretty deep. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's just inconsistent because they're just going with the flow. I think that's legitimately it, but theory crafting is always fun. And Pokemon in space, that's where I'm going with it.
Mm-hmm. Even the Bulbapedia page on extraterrestrial Pokemon has Clefairy, Deoxys, Elgyem, and Beheeyem, or whatever. I think that was the Pokemon that go.
Oh yeah. I was like, whom?
Because it was in the episode a UFO for LGM or whatever. I stopped watching the anime by then, so I don't know. And then Unknown is from Extra Dimension, or it's an extra dimensional Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
from the Unknown Dimension, which is also the Diamond, Pearl, Platinum legendaries. Uxie or whatever, Uxie, Mess Spirit, Azelf, Dialga, Palkia, Giratani, Arceus, or Arceus, however you want to pronounce it, and all the Ultra Beasts. Those are all alternate dimensions.
Can I just say how stupid I think Buzzwole is and the fact that they managed to slip the word swole into a Pokemon's name?
Buzz?
Yeah,
I don't...
it's a buff bug. That's why they named it Buzzwole. Click it. Buff bug.
Swollen Pokemon.